we are already running short. We have started with an apology. There had been last minute change in the rooms. We were informed that a room in the adjoining building had been made available, but only yesterday we were told it is not that room but this room. As a result, people have been going round. We are extremely sorry about the inconvenience that we have caused you. Since we are starting a little late, we have to cut short some of the programs, but I was just wondering whether you would prefer a self-introduction, or do we go straight away with the program according to the schedule? I think it's better. Yes, thank you very much for that. We'll start with myself. I'm Iqbal from the Corporate Research in Netherlands for Humanitarian Activities. I have been working in the corporate sector for some time and came from Sri Lanka about 5 years ago after working in another field of human rights. So I had to come in a hurry and settle down in Netherlands. Since the war, 2009, we have been very much interested, concerned about those who are affected, and the people here, the officers or concerned persons in Netherlands thought we should have a non-political, non-sectarian, non-governmental organization, and that is where we are, the CSL.
Okay, I'm Mervyn Wilson. I'm principal of the Cooperative College in the UK, and as I say a bit more when I speak, but we've a long-established educational charity working with cooperatives not just in the UK, but in many other parts of the world.
Good afternoon, I'm Linda Shaw and I'm Vice Principal at the Cooperative College in Manchester.
I am Rajani Iqbal. I am Project Director of CSNH, Cooperative Society of Netherlands for Humanitarian Activities.
I'm B.C. Rednan. I'm a human rights activist.
I'm Bangladeshi Nivasan. I volunteer for the CCD War Widows Project.
I'm Shaila Visahan, involved with M.C.M. CCD.
I'm Trisha Zalbrednan, representing Charitable Children's Home, formed in the UK 5 years ago.
I'm Graham Williamson. I'm an activist, but I do support charity work as well.
I'm Ramchandran, Chairman of the Executive Committee of the Ealing Amman Temple.
I'm Logeswaran, President of Wickham Tamil Community Association in High Wickham.
I'm Sri Ranjan. I'm in many things, but at the moment I'm coming for representing Wickham Tamil Community Association, we are a charity organization.
I'm Dr. Puvinathan. I'm the President of Tamil Health Organization and Relief Rehabilitation Network UK, 2 charities.
My name is Bharadkumar. I work for the Center for Community Development, which is a charity in the UK.
I am Chandranal from Netherlands for CMS. I am working for the last 2 years.
I am Jess Redman. I work for 2 charities. One is Nectar, which exists from 2006, and then Deep Global.
My name is Akhilan Nityananda. I'm here representing We4U as chair.
I'm Dayananda from Netherlands, CSNH, last 2 years.
I'm Dr. Solzegram. I'm very much interested in the war victims of the Tamils.
I'm Dr. Raj Yogeswaran. I'm the chair for the Global Peace Support Group, which is a peace and human rights activist, and I'm also in many other charities like the Medical Institute of Tamils, ex-chairman and the trustee.
I'm Jan Gillingham. I'm a PhD student here at SOAS doing research into post-war development in northern Sri Lanka.
I am Tilakanathan. I am working mainly as a financial consultant for many organizations. After my retirement, I worked in Nepal and many other banks. Now my main job is financial analysis.
I think He is working two charities. It's better if he can.
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Only one person is.
The gentleman behind, right at the corner there. I think we missed you.
I am Raghu. I am one of the party of this organization.
Thank you. Before we proceed, I have an obligation to say a few words in Tamil. You will pardon me. நாங்கள் அழைப்பில் வணக்கம் எல்லோருக்கும் அழைப்பில் நாங்கள் குறிப்பிட்டிருந்தோம் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி தமிழிலும் நடைபெறும் அதுக்கான ஒழுங்குகள் செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கும்னு சொல்லி துரதிர்ஷ்டவசமாக அதுக்கான கருவிகள் எங்களுக்கு கடைசி நேரத்தில் கிடைக்காமல் விட்டது. நிச்சயமாக நான் நினைக்கிறேன் உங்களில் சிலருக்கு தேவைப்படுமோ ஐயமாக இருக்கிறது. மொழிபெயர்ப்பு தேவை என்று சொல்கிறீங்கன்னு சொன்னால் அந்த மொழிபெயர்ப்பு தேவையானார்கள் நான் ஒரு இடத்துக்கு ஒரு மூளைக்கு அமைத்து அவர்களுக்கு பக்கத்தில் இருந்து ஒரு ஆள் சொல்லிக் கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒழுங்குகள் செய்யலாம். தேவை என்று நினைக்கிறீங்களா? ஆங்கிலத்தில் சொல்லவே தமிழில் மொழிபெயர்ப்பு உண்டு. சமகாலத்தில் செய்கிறதுக்கு தான் நாங்கள் ஏற்பாடு ஒழுங்குகள் செய்து கொண்டு தான் ஆனால் கடைசி நேரத்தில் எங்களுக்கு அந்த கருவியில் தார என்ற ஒரு பிரச்சனை வந்து அது கிடைக்காம விட்டது. ஓகே, சம்மதமாக இருக்குது. Yeah, what I said was we had promised to have the program in 2 languages, simultaneous translation. Unfortunately, the equipment had not been provided in the last minute before, it's not there. So it has been suggested that at the end of every lecture, a summary of what has been said in English should be given in Tamil. And with your permission, we'll proceed. Thank you very much. I welcome all of you on behalf of the CSNHA and Deep Global, who are the organizers of this event, in collaboration with few other charitable organizations which are present here. And this is an event that many of us have been looking forward to, as there had been a tendency for us to look back at what we have been doing in Sri Lanka after the war, to see whether the objectives of going ahead with this helping the victims of the war have been achieved, or whether there are any things that we should rectify, or the strategies to be changed, or whatever it is. So there was a general feeling that we should have a second look at this method that's being adapted to help these people. As a consequence, we thought, since the CSNHA is a cooperative registered in Netherlands, and as the members of the organization there are believers in the cooperative sector, we were thinking that we should have a look at how we could effectively help these people through the cooperatives that are functioning in among the war victims in Sri Lanka. So we were able to access the Manchester Cooperative College, and we had a series of discussions with them, and we thought they have valuable knowledge and information which, if shared with those who are working there, we could probably make use of that knowledge to review our activities in the Vani. Before proceeding further, I would like to read 3 or 4 sentences from an article written by a former government agent of repute, Neville Jayavira, and published in the Daily Telegraph of 3rd November 2013. He says, among other things, firstly, the people, the Tamils of Sri Lanka, can match any community anywhere in the world for intelligence, industry, and resilience. Secondly, it has in the Tamil diaspora an untapped resource of enormous magnitude. The diaspora not only has vast reserves of disposable capital, but also highly trained technological skills among its members. It happened in Scotland after the Scots had been utterly vanquished by the English in 1745. The Scots did not retreat into the hills and sulk, but simply rolled up their sleeves, got down to work, and within 50 years had taken over the commanding heights of the British economy. The Tamils, who share many traits of the Scots, can do likewise in Sri Lanka. It will be appropriate for us to think, get reminded that internationally now, this gentleman who wrote is now about 83 years old, he is residing in Australia, and he thought it fit to remind us that we have the necessary skills, intelligence and the capability. In addition, the resources that are necessary to uplift those victims of the war in Sri Lanka. So it is in that direction, instinctively, soon after the events of 2009, the sad events of 2009, nobody had to cajole the diaspora to move in to help. It happened instinctively, automatically. Vast amounts of monies have been sent there through different channels in the hope that we will be able to put them back on their feet. Unfortunately, looking back, after about 4 years of work, we see that the methods used have not helped in achieving the expected objective. So, in the circumstances, the time has come for us to take a second look at the methods we are using, and we from the Cooperative Society of Netherlands for Humanitarian Activities think that cooperatives or working through cooperatives could be an option that could be considered. Perhaps we are going to listen to experts in this field, and after having listened to them, we will have a lively discussion, and then perhaps we could have second thoughts of the methods we are using. Thank you for letting me make a brief introduction to the program. We'll move on according to the agenda. An opportunity has been provided in the agenda for at least 5 charitable organizations working in the Wani to speak for 5 minutes each on any specific problems that they have encountered. This is an opportunity for us to share the problems with the experts here to see whether they have encountered or they have seen such problems in the African countries where they have been working, and whether they could suggest any alternatives. So I earnestly urge those who come forward, the charities who are going to speak now, to restrict it strictly to that subject, to highlight the problems and confine it to 5 minutes. Thank you. Shall we start with V for You?